Oh my god, is he gonna get shot? I just don't trust this show anymore. Shit, who has the wind abilities? Oh. Dean, let's just chill, my boy. I don't think we need to go crazy. Ah, someone's dying. You know the saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. At this point, fool me 3 times, just beat me over the head with a shovel. I knew it wouldn't stay good, but I ain't gonna lie, the Dean and this Professor X looking orphanage for the gifted, I was like, you know, even if it goes bad, at least, you know, can't be too bad. That kid's not making it out of next episode. There was one kid in this episode, so when they're trying to escape after they do the new song and dance, I don't know who it was, but the kid who was like, hey guys, over here, Professor X comes out, uses some wind magic, and blasts the kid so hard, I'm convinced he got flung into the next episode. And when you introduce a character like Lucky Siam, whose ability is luck, and then you have a different character who's apparently unlucky. Now, I'm expecting initially, okay, something bad's gonna happen with them, or they're gonna balance each other out, and that's gonna be kind of like their little love story, or whatever they're gonna do. The vibes I'm getting is that we need to accept the very cold, hard truth about this show. That over the past 2 arcs, we've already seen happy endings don't really exist. First arc, Moon gets shot in the face. Second arc, Uncle screws us over so hard and causes E-Souls to merge and absolutely is just a corrupt piece of shit. This one, Cultist Church, I don't even need to continue that sentence, that just speaks for itself. The thing that I will say though, is that I honestly believe that this man isn't just like a straight up evil character, like he didn't just start off like, I'm gonna do some bad shit. I feel like we're gonna watch a story of blinded by good intentions, because the initial reaction that he had when the sister or whatever, you know, tried to take the money from the woman who's like, my old husband's dying, like, please, you know, cure him. Like, she was a greedy little bitch, but, you know, I kind of get it, to be honest. But, he immediately was upset by that. Like, how dare you? Like, even if we needed the money, this is not how it is. And then very quickly, we see the transition into this more church-like situation. And I'm not going to say it felt like a cult right away. It felt like a cult by the end. But I really feel like what they're trying to say is that the look of approval and desire that this guy had was more about, we have the ability to do some really good stuff. I feel like that honestly was his intentions at the start. But over 5 years of doing that, yeah, it didn't turn out too good. It was like a 11-year time skip in general, because we start off with her in the plane, and then it was like a 6-year time skip, and then a 5-year. It's not going to be good though. My assumption is one of 2 things: unlucky kid gonna get absolutely killed, or they're gonna try to do some bad shit to him. He's gonna escape, and that's gonna be his villain origin story. And I won't even blame him if that happens. Either way, though, the idea that, you know, she's like, the way she does these blessings and stuff is like this like typical church orchestra, like, okay, you know, super to the books, not very modern. And then she comes out with rollerblades at the end and just does like this like modern song and dance. I was vibing to it. I was like, okay, I like the animation. This is pretty good. I was like, okay, I didn't realize she had parties like this. I misinterpreted it because I was like, oh, I guess like every song starts like this and then we do it like this. No, they were not ready for the modern the modern song and dance, and they were salty. If there's a silver lining though, I do have to admit, I was expecting Buddy to get shot in the head as we were running out. So the fact that only one character got blasted into tomorrow and currently no one's dead is better than it usually is. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, easily the best first episode out of the arcs. If you haven't understood my opinions today, I think overall E-Soul was the best arc. I think the very first episode is probably like, was up to this point my favorite intro just because of how shocking it was. But Lucky Siam, despite you remove the ending of the episode, I just really vibed with this episode. It felt less like we have something to prove, we're just going to legitimately show an interesting story, and you're not going to know when the shoe drops or how it will, because there was enough false flags. I get PTSD anytime I see Orphanage because of Promised Neverland. So I'm like, okay, yeah, they're kind of using us for good deeds, but at least, they're not eating us. To be honest, when they were using her, I kind of thought it was funny. I was like, hey, this isn't trauma inducing, it's just kind of shitty. But like the one woman brought out a cake with 3 people's faces, and she's like, all right, pick one. And the one she picked ended up being a CEO, and now she's living the luxurious life. And I'm like, I kind of respect that, I'm not gonna lie. And in general, like, I was like, oh, this is cute. Like, you knew it was gonna build into her being exploited, but it was a matter of how she would. And once you start seeing her wear the mask and stuff, that's when it got a little weird for me. I was like, okay, now we're entering more cultist vibes, Like, at face value, maybe hiding her identity could be seen as a good thing, but it's like, it was giving me some sus vibes. And I think the saddest part for this whole episode for me was honestly the moment. So, it's after the first time skip, so she's a little older, and the 3 boys, they're playing, and then they say, okay, we're gonna stop playing. And they immediately bow to her. And because she's basically the Holy Spirit in this orphanage. Like, she is the moneymaker, she's the powerful entity. And the fact that she stops to take off the mask and be like, hey guys, here I am, they're already gone. Because they know they can't play with her. They know that they are below her. But for her, that childhood just ceased to exist because of that role. And that's where it gets sad for me. And I think that's why it's so sweet that someone was just so casual with her. Like, just like, the way this kid acted towards the end was kind of like, imagine if Jesus Christ himself was in front of him and he's like, haha, you're the Holy Spirit. Oh, that's awesome, boss. Anyway, let's go do, like, just so nonchalant, doesn't give a shit. But when you're basically being treated as a god among men, but not able to have a normal life, that bluntness is gonna immediately like stick out, and you're gonna be like, I want to stick around someone like that rather than all the yes men who don't give me anything I actually desire. The most shocking thing will be Unlucky Livin'. If this unlucky kid survives next episode, I will be shook. But if he survives because he becomes a villain because of all this, less hopeful, but at least better than it is. But, the true villain at the end of the day is this whole damn society. It's just corrupt top to bottom. And the one thing I can say is X is without a doubt the smartest hero in this society. Because keeps their identity a secret, so you can never be stolen. But also, you probably can manipulate it to your heart's desires without too much repercussions. But we won't know for sure until the very last episode when we get X's episode where they want to go, especially for a season 2. But so far, very, very much enjoying this arc. And honestly, the fact that most of it was 2D was surprising. It took me a bit to realize that it was different visually. I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? Let me know your thoughts. It's definitely, we got to accept. There's no happy endings in this show. Only pain, but I'm here for it. You let me know your feelings. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. We also have the Patreon, we got the full live reactions available exclusively over there, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Agus TR, Leaf Solmond, Chitin Lord, Bill, Tony Neal, Waka, Merc, Sebastian Just, Keegan Miller, and we also have Renee Bredhoff. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.